झंडा लहराने की जिन्होंने मन में थी ठानी, कारगिल के चप्पे चप्पे वो लिख गए विजय की कहानी। जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी।
Good evening to all. Laurels to the nation. During the Kargil War against Pakistan in 1999, 26th July is celebrated as the Kargil Vijay Divas to honor the brave soldiers who laid their lives on the front lines to secure a victory against the aggressive enemies.
Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. A very good evening to all. Kargil was a military, political, and diplomatic victory for India. This year, we observe the 22nd anniversary of Kargil Vijay Divas in honor of the brave hearts who laid down their lives in war. Kargil Divas commemorates the success of Operation Vijay launched by the Indian Army to recapture the Indian territories from the Pakistani intruders in the Kargil Drass sector in the year 1999. The 60-day-long war witnessed the loss of lives, but India eventually won the war by regaining control of all the previously held territories. The late Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee declared the operation successful. July 14, the operation was officially declared closed on July 26, 1999. It was only possible through the valor of the soldiers of the armed forces who went above and beyond their call of duty.
Thank you, Parth. We as a nation are and will forever remain indebted to the soldiers for their sacrifice and courage.
On this note, I invite our principal, Mrs. Meenakshi Kushwaha, to welcome our guest of honor for the occasion, Major Kavi Pratik, and other members of the webinar.
Thank you, Parth. Thank you, Ditya. And a warm welcome to Major Kavi Pratik to our school, though through the physical mode, through the online mode. And Major, trust me, I feel that online mode is very good because it's only because of this it was possible to have you amongst us today, because you are posted at Srinagar and we are here in Delhi and we are able to interact. So this online mode is a blessing at many times, I must say. So I know you have a busy day, busy schedule, and being posted at border is not an easy thing, because a lot of unusual things you all have to do. Why I am saying unusual? Because they don't exist into our life. When you go out, there are the people with you to look after you. You have to be careful at every step that maybe there's a landmine or something. And then there's a sentry behind you holding a gun to ensure that you don't become the target. So the kind of free life we have as civilians, we salute you for that, because we owe it to you. But at the same time, I would like to tell children, and I would like to tell all the children who are in the YouTube also, that our duty doesn't end here. Our duty just doesn't end by saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai or singing a song on 15th August or whichever day, which is called, say, national song or patriotic song or whatever. But then, you know, the whole idea is that whatever you are doing, children, whichever role you are in, you are children right now, you have to study and you have to learn values, you have to play, you have to be physically, mentally fit. And then when you grow, you get into some college and then you get into professions, you grow as adults for the country. But trust me, children, at every role you have a responsibility. If our Fauji brothers and sisters now also are doing their duty at the border, and even while they are at the peace posting, we also have our duties towards our nation and towards them. And I think the simple mantra is, let's do in possibly the best way, whichever duty we have been assigned. We as teachers, you as students, business people as into their business, whatever. Everyone is doing a role and we must do it well, because ultimately we have to take our nation forward and we have to serve humanity. It is not only fighting at the border, but service is service. You must have seen the doctors have done a remarkable job when this COVID came. So I would say your teachers did a remarkable job when they overnight learnt and next day morning they were there in your online class, Zoom class or Teams class, whatever. So get into a habit of doing possibly in the best manner with your heart and mind into it fully, so that you become an asset for the nation, for the world, rather than only praising others. Create opportunities for yourself when people praise you. That's very important. And grow up into responsible adults. And of course, what we are doing can never be compared with what people like Major Kavi Prateek are doing. It's remarkable. And I have had the opportunity to work in the Naval School for 21 years, and I know what kind of life they go through. They get posted, they come back, they don't have a house to live in. 2 years they live in one-room apartment. They get a house. They are there for 2 months. They're posted out again. So I mean, the kind of luxury we have here is huge in terms of what you all kind of have. But then I love the spirit, and it is your spirit, Major, which keeps you can say the national flag fly high, and which keeps us into good health and spirit always. So thank you so much. Kargil Divas is something very important. We as adults have seen and heard about the war on TV, but it should not be something which is a story. It should be something which we pray never happens again, number one. And we in our own way are prepared to defend our country, ourselves, everything in a big way. And we bring honor to our nation in whichever capacity we are in. So thank you so much once again. And Major Kavi Prateek, thank you once again, and salutes to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, hello everyone. I am Major Kavi Prateek from Indian Army, and it's been indeed a proud privilege for me. On behalf of the entire Army fraternity, I would like to convey my felicitations that the school like BIRLA Vidya Mandir has taken this step forward to invite and give us the opportunity to motivate the one facet of the country, which are going to be the shoulders on which the entire country will rely on tomorrow. So I would like to thank Principal Ma'am, the faculty members, the students, the parents for inviting me here today to talk to you, to motivate you in whichever way I can, so that you as a human being grow and build a one block which is ultimately required to build a nation. So first of all, what is Kargil Vijay Divas? The Kargil Vijay Divas, as rightly brought out by the students, commemorates the gallant actions done by the Indian Army soldiers in 1999 when the Kargil conflict took place. I will dwell upon the parts, the facets of Kargil war in further to my talk. Firstly, I would like you all to watch a small clip on Indian Army, so that you are fairly aware that how a soldier is made right from the days of the training. The video will take you through the terrains which Indian Army operates in, the weather which Indian Army operates in, the firepower which we are having, the all the arms which are present in the Indian Army. So I would request the school administration if the video can be played.
I'm an officer in the Indian Army. I'm a son to two mothers. One bore me, but the other, my country. She made me. She made me the man that I am. And every time she calls, I shall hear and I shall heed. For she sings to me in my hour of need.
सब कुछ तू ही जान मेरी, तेरे हाथों की लकीरों में तकदीर मेरी, तू जो हारी है हार मेरी, उठे सर भी मेरा जो हो जीत तेरी। तू न चलेगा अकेला कभी की संग, चलेगी मेरी दुआ। तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है। तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, चलता चल। जिस दिन मैंने एक सुकून सा था सीने में मेरे कि महफूज है तेरे हाथों में, तेरे पहरे में आंगन मेरा बन के। कभी की संग, चलेगी मेरी दुआ। तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है। तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल।
One thing remains the same. That is your task and your duty. You are required to ensure the security of this country against any aggression. What does that mean for you? It means that you should have your fight and fight to win. I look around, I see parents, I see relations, I see friends who are looking at you with trust and pride. Make sure, gentlemen, that you don't betray their trust or their pride. May the winds of fortune blow kindly upon you, and may good luck attend all your duties.
जीत तेरी तू न चलेगा अकेला कभी की संग चलेगी मेरी दुआ तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल
So, video says कि तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल. Who is saying these words? These are the words of our beloved Bharat Mata. ये हमारी भारत माता हमसे बोल रही हैं कि तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल. तू कभी नहीं थकेगा, तू कभी नहीं हारेगा. शायद यही सारे ख्याल 1999 में आए होंगे उन सारे जवानों के जहन में. All those soldiers who were deployed in the Kargil sector in 1999 would be having the same thoughts in their minds. It takes a moment, it takes a fraction of second to just lay down your life, but it takes a life to build that courage to come to that fraction of second. Today we are remembering those brave hearts of Kargil war who laid down their life to just protect their Bharat Mata, our Bharat Mata. Let me tell you something about Kargil war. What happens in Kargil, what used to happen in the Kargil was that in winters, it used to be, the temperature used to fall to -30, -40. And it used to be so hard for the Jawans to stay there. So there was an unwritten mandate between India and our adversary that during winters, we'll vacate our post and come back to the baseline. So that we can stay comfortably. And after the winters are gone, in the end of April and May, the posts were reoccupied. But the adversary in 1999 took the advantage of this fact and placed their troops on the highline ridges of Kargil sector. Now the Kargil sector was divided into 4 parts: Dras, Mushko, Batalik, and Kaksar. All the 4 sectors were occupied by the adversary, and the Indian Army was unaware of that. In the month of May, June, when the winter subsided and the Indian Army thought, let's go and occupy our post. So a patrolling party under brave Major Saurabh Kalia was sent for the patrolling. And this story is not unheard of. Then we came to know that adversaries have taken an undue advantage of our leniency and captured the post rising above 14,000, 15,000 and 18,000 feet. Their main motto was to cut Leh, that is NH1, and the highest battleground in the world, that is Siachen, from India by capturing NH1. The terrain was such that if we take 1 step ahead, we were coming 4 steps behind. They all were deployed in the high rising ridges above, and the Indian Army was at the base. But with the sheer courage determination, and zero fear for the own life, the Indian Army soldiers rode in every peak in that sector and captured them. Today is the day when we commemorate the supreme sacrifices which were given by Lieutenant Balwan Singh, Captain Vikram Batra, Grenadiers Yogendra Yadav, Lieutenant Manoj Kumar Pandey, Rifleman Sanjay Kumar, and the list goes on and on. They not only just sacrificed their life, they attained martyrdom, but they made India proud. They made us proud and proved once again that हिंदुस्तानी जवान मर जाएगा लेकिन अपना कदम पीछे नहीं हटाएगा. This was very brief. This was the briefest part which I could tell you about Kargil. There are numerous and numerous valiant stories which can go on for days and days, for nights and nights, about how the Indian Army fought at those difficult terrains when their hands were freezing, their legs were freezing, they had a better load on their back, they had to climb 14,000, 15,000 feet above sea level. And then they have to go wage a war, wage a conflict, wage a dhawa on them and win those posts. But as we all know that this is what we are supposed to do. This is what we are trained to do. This is what we are ultimately bound to do. So with this brief, I would like to come and emphasize something upon the life in Indian Army and what Indian Army is. So this is a question which I would like to raise, that what is Indian Army? Is it a career option? Is it perks? Is it facilities? Is it what I would say glamour? Or is it something else? So the answer is very clear. Indian Army is none of those, but Indian Army is a way of life. Indian Army is a life which is very less ordinary. Indian Army gives you a purpose. The Army gives you a purpose in life. So once I come upon those part, once you think about your nation, what Army does is that it magnifies it. Today, if my sense of nationhood is at the peak, it's just because that Indian Army taught me such. Every single day when I move out of my room, the only thought which comes in my mind is that today whom am I going to save? This is what Indian Army taught me, and this is what Indian Army is. So the everything which goes on in one's life here in the Army, everyone is driven by one fact, that no matter what happens to me, my nation is secured, my nation is intact. There is no harm coming to the integrity of my nation. Indian Army goes by the name that it is the most valiant army in the world. And you all have witnessed that in the series of wars which we have fought in 1947, in 1965, in 1962, in 1971, and 1999. This is clearly evident to the entire world. Now, sometimes what happens that there is a scenario in which we think that nowadays the wars are not going on. What does what does the army do? The army is ever preparing for one single day when that war happens. Let me give you an example. Once when I got commissioned, I was young. I was posted in Meghalaya. And from Meghalaya, we used to go to Guwahati and other places also. So an officer is always needed to carry his rifle with him. And he's supposed to wear his protection gear in his body. So it was continuous for 3 months that I was moving again and again on a similar route. So after some point of time, I became a little bit lackadaisical. So one day what I told that I took my rifle and I just passed it on to the behind a Jawan sitting behind, that just hold it on. So he just looked at me and told that no, I am not supposed to. So I was really shocked. I asked him why. So then he gave me a life lesson, which I've been telling you that Indian Army is not a it's a life lesson for us. He told me that today you don't need it, tomorrow you don't need it, and maybe for next 3 months you will not need it, but the day when you will need it, you will have to have it on you. So that day I realized that no matter what is the condition, it is me who has to be always prepared. It is the army who has to always be prepared for anything, for any eventuality which is coming to its way. So this is what we do. We prepare ourselves 24/7 for years and years for the eventuality to come, for one moment that will lead us to serve our motherland. So that was the first thing which I would like, which I was willing to share with you. The second part which I want to tell you is that the sense of pride which is there, it is the one of the most important factors in our life. The sense of pride is for the nation, for the every facet of the nation. No matter whether we are doing a flood relief in Kerala, or we are fighting insurgency in Assam, or we are fighting terrorism in Jammu Kashmir, or we are standing on the borders of Rajasthan and Punjab, there is always a sense of pride in every soldier who is standing there and doing his duty. There is always, we have to serve in the most hostile terrain, with most hostile conditions and the most difficulties. But what keeps us going on is this sense of pride. This is what my second lesson, or what I would like to say to you all, is the point which I want to convey is there are three points which keeps on guiding, is Naam, Namak and Nishan. Naam, which we carry on our shoulders, which is the name of our regiment, our battalion, our units which we carry. Us naam ke liye we will die in split of second. The namak, जो इस देश का I am having, इस देश का जो मैं ये नमक खा रहा हूं, इसका मुझे कर्ज अदा करना है. और निशान, वो झंडा जो मेरे सर के ऊपर लहराता है, वो झंडा जो मैं अपने कंधों पे लेकर चलता हूं. That is the most, these are the three most important guiding principle in our life, Naam, Namak and Nishan, for which we are ready to even sacrifice ourselves in split of seconds. So this was the second part which I wanted to tell you. The third part, which is little bit of fun part, is that the time when I was under training in my battalion. So I was just entering my battalion. So everybody was in anticipation that, okay, Naya Saab aa raha hai. He's a new officer, young officer. He'll be participating in all of the games. He'll be participating in all of the competitions. He'll be very Rambo of a kind. I came in the battalion. Everybody asked me, okay, what all games do you play? What all things do you do? So I tell, okay, I am normal in everything. So the rumor went around that not only the Saab is very good at everything, but he's also quite modest in everything. So that was the first part of it. The second part came when there was a competition. There was a handball competition in my battalion. I came in the ground and I played really miserably because that was not my forte at all. So the rumor again went around that, okay, chalo theek hai, he's a normal guy, he cannot play that way. Once what happened, I was passing by through the firing range. So I saw the firers firing there. and they were firing for the competition was about to come. So I went there and I stood in front of them and I asked that I also will like to fire. So there was a junior commissioned officer who came to me and he gave me the rifle, and I fired first magazine, I fired second magazine, I fired third magazine. And as the third magazine was over, so what he said to me was that this is the result which we are getting after years and years of the practice, and you are here at the first time. So he told that now we have got our officer in charge for the firing team, and he rang up the CO. The CO came to the firing range. He saw my firing, and from that day till this date, the firing captain of my battalion is me. So this is the part which I want to tell, that everybody has a specific job to do in the Indian Army. Not everybody does everything. The Indian Army has such variety of domain that everybody can do everything. You can play around, you can uh, participate in the competition. Apart from doing your duties, there are numerous things that you can do in the Indian Army that will take you to the higher heights. Okay. The moving forward, the crux which I would like to bring out, like when I was a very young kid, so there was always a clock ticking in my mind that what shall I do for my nation? What shall I do that will make a marked difference in the life and will satisfy me? So that was a small clock which was ticking in my mind. And incidentally, that happened that I joined Indian Army, and that clock was magnified by the Indian Army. Now every single day when I move out, I make it a point that I help at least 10 individuals whom I see on the road, be it making them cross road to any elderly, or giving first aid to any wounded, okay, giving food packets to any needy, okay. So these were the qualities which the army has brought up in me, which was there, but they have magnified it to the next level. So the part where I would like to tell you that Indian Army is life very less ordinary is this, that we move out of our rooms, we go, we serve our nation, we are out and out for days and days and days, we come back. But the all the teachings which we have got during our training, during our regimental tenures, and serving in the different terrains, is that what keeps us going on? Is that what we are looked up for to going on? So every one of you, it's my urge to the parents also, that you are required to bring out certain qualities in yourself. You are required to be disciplined. You are required to be focused in the life. You are required to come up to those standards which can help build the nation. If you want to join Indian Army, you have to self-evaluate yourself. You have to evaluate yourself on the basis of the qualities which is required in the army, whether be it effective intelligence, reasoning abilities, leadership abilities, sense of responsibilities, stamina, whatever are the facets of qualities which are required to join the army. You are required to evaluate yourself. And if not, there is no problem in not if you are not able to evaluate yourself on those facets. If you are not able to recognize those qualities, fair enough, you just have to do your bit, as rightly brought out by principal ma'am, that apart from we doing everything, we are liable to contribute towards our country. We, every single day, even students can contribute towards India. You are walking through the path, you see a garbage on the path, you pick it up, you throw it in the dustbin, you have done your part towards the country. I would like to bring out the utter dedication of the teachers in these past 1.5 years. The teachers have shown utter dedication to train, to educate the only facet of the country which will tomorrow be the shoulders on which entire country is going to lie upon. So at the end, what I would like to bring out is that the Indian Army is standing every single day, every single night on the borders to protect even an inch of our nation. We are standing in the hardest of the terrain, in the hardest of the conditions, to protect every inch of the terrain, every inch of the country, every citizen of the country. So you as children, be motivated, guide yourself, educate yourself properly, prepare yourself, and come forward to join the army of the nation, so that you are the second part in which we can say now the nation is on the right track. So at the end, I would once again like to thank Principal Ma'am, the faculty members, students, and parents for inviting me here and giving me such great privilege to tell you something about the Kargil Vijay Divas, the Indian Army, and motivate you in any way I can. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Major Kavi Pratik, thank you so much. We couldn't have had a better guest on the occasion of Kargil Vijay Divas than you, sitting right in Srinagar and speaking to us from there, from a very, very difficult area, very difficult terrain. And you have spoken about a subject that is so close to my heart, being an army officer's daughter myself. I can't tell you how moved and motivated I am to hear you today. So you have spoken so much about the Indian Army, but our audience wants to know a little about you. So we have little Bhavik, who has prepared a brief on your profile, and we would like to introduce you to the audience, how special you are, and you are here with us today.
Thank you so much.
Bhavik, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was truly inspirational, sir. To be a part of these celebrations, we are proud to have with us Major Kavi Pratik. He is an alumnus of National Defence Academy, Pune, and Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. He did his post-graduation diploma in Defence Studies and Strategic Science from Garhwal University and got commissioned on 13 December 2014 in 17th Battalion, the Dogra Regiment. He was posted to Extreme Counter-Insurgency Area in Assam and moved to International Border in Punjab. Currently, he is deployed in Counter-Terrorism Area of Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, commanding a company. We extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Your words have enlightened our young minds, and many of us look forward to work for the welfare of our nation. We would like to conclude here by saying, आओ देश का सम्मान करें, शहीदों की शहादत याद करें, जो कुर्बान हो गए मेरे देश पर, उन्हें सर झुकाकर सलाम करें. जय हिंद.
Jai.
I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।